Welcome to the 365 Performance Show with your host, Scott Dillon.
How's it going, everybody? I just got back from America. I ended up leaving America, and I'm pretty sure I won the competition for the man with the most sunburnt face in all of the United States, and I also managed to contract the man flu for the first time in around 2 years. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Well, I went there to a conference, a 3-day thing. Each day went for around 12 to 14 hours, really long days. And on the last day, I had the opportunity to go up and in front of 500 people, I got to say part of my story and be really vulnerable. Here's the thing. 9 years ago, I said to people in my circle that I wanted to do personal training. I'd always been in the gym training all my life, but that was the first time I actually declared it to people that I cared about, that this is what I wanted to do. And it fell on their ears, and what I got from all of them was a laugh, and they said, "You'll never be able to coach people. You're too fucking shy. You hardly ever talk to anybody." Not like they weren't trying to not support me, but they were just telling the truth of who and how I was at the time. Thankfully, I followed my gut, did my courses that weren't really worth much except for the piece of paper they were written on, did my own study, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours of coaching people and getting a little bit better. And here I am 9 years later, speaking in front of 500 people. Completely different person than I was all those years ago. Why am I telling you this? So, 9 years ago, there would have been no hope in hell that I could have done what I did last week. But last week, it was so easy. There was no anxiety. I wasn't scared. I just stood there in front of everyone, spoke, and then walked off. But I didn't get there overnight. It started with me having a conversation with one person. Then, eventually, after a few months of doing that, I ended up coaching 2 people at the same time, and that was scary, speaking to them, sharing things with them. Then over time, I had the confidence and the courage to actually start doing group classes and putting my skills out on the table in front of a bunch of people at the same time. And from there, one day, I eventually had the courage and confidence to do like a little small seminar in front of a bunch of my clients. And from there, things steadily grew, and then I had the courage and confidence to speak in front of all my clients at a birthday party. And from there, it grew again. And then obviously last week happened, which is a pretty big monumental thing for myself. But I had to start small. And here's the thing, when it comes to wanting to make a change, I see lots of people, and I do this myself all the time, unbeknownst to me, is I'd want to go from point A to point B, and point B was always some huge lofty goal that my ego would create, thinking that that's my path to prosperity. I'd see myself as where I'm at now. Okay, well, I haven't run before, I'm going to do an ultra marathon. Or hey, yeah, my relationship's not that good, I'm going to have it on fire, we're going to have sex like 5 times a week, and it's going to be like this, we're going to be frothing over each other. Or it's going to be in my business, yeah, okay, we're here now, but we're going to have 5 gyms, and we're going to have 2,000 clients, and we're going to have this in the next year. But it was so far away. And by those goals being so huge and humongous, I could only stay motivated for a really short period of time. And most of the time, I'd work at it for a week or two, not see much fruit from all my actions, and then all the hard work that I did do, I'd just burn it to the ground in anger and frustration, blame and shame. And I see this all the time, especially with clients that come to us after trying and failing several times in the past. They all come to us quite overweight, not very healthy, and they all have the same conception of what it means to what they actually need to do to create change with their health and fitness. They must train 5 days per week. They must eat perfect. And if they cannot eat perfect, if they cannot get everything dialed in, if they cannot train 5 days a week, then they're not going to have success. So life is finally in order for a week, and they start at the gym. 2-3 weeks later, maybe they last 2 bloody months. Eventually, life hands them a lemon, like it always does. Things get challenging. All of a sudden, they can't train 5 days a week. All of a sudden, they can't eat perfect. And then they begin to slip. And instead of focusing on what they can do, they see what they can't. And then most times, they bail. And I get it, because I used to do the same thing. Why am I telling you this? Well, I want you to look at where you're at right now. What is it that you're trying to improve? Maybe it's like you're trying to save money, you're trying to buy a house or something like that. Maybe you're trying to improve your relationship, or maybe you're like all of our clients, you're wanting to get healthier, fitter, maybe lose a bit of weight, maybe tone up, maybe get stronger. But right now, the goal that you have is this huge thing that's so far away. What I want you to do, whatever your goal is, I want you to take it and divide it by 4. So you're going to shrink it. It's going to be a quarter the size that it normally is. And I want you to ask yourself, what is something you can do tomorrow? What is one thing you can do tomorrow that by doing it and doing it every day over the next 30 days, it'll get you undeniably closer than you have ever been before. For me, I always felt like, you know what, I really need to share my message to more people. Not because I wanted more clients, just wanted to make an impact. I feel like I have this kind of thing that's a little bit special, and I want to share it with people. But the whole thought of being in front of 500 people, honestly, made me put my pants. But one thing that I could do the next day was just speak to someone, one person that I didn't know. I don't have to go up to them and tell them my life story. All I need to do is go up to them and say, hey, just connect with them. Say hello and see where it goes from there. By doing something small like that, it builds my confidence slowly but surely. Really, really small. I don't have this huge, epiphany and then my life changes in that moment. But slowly but surely, I begin to expand and get a little bit better and make a little bit of progress. So what's one thing you can do, tiny thing, but that by doing it, things will be a lot more easier, and you'll be one step and a much bigger step closer to your goal than where you are right now. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please head over to the365show.com where you can gain instant access to our 4-part video series. If you like what we're doing, please leave us a review and also make sure you're subscribed so you get kept in the loop. And finally, if you know anyone else that could benefit from this show, please share it with them.